Well, hi everybody. It's Tom Bullington with InMotion Realty and Hastings Happenings, and I'm here with my fellow InMotion Realtor Steven Read. Steven, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Great, great. Well, today we wanted to talk about something that is new and happening in the city of Hastings, and Steven just so happens to be part of it. We have a new Arts and Culture Commission here in Hastings, Minnesota, and Steven is the vice chair of that commission. So, Stephen, maybe tell us how this got started and what your plans are for the new commission.
Yeah. So the commission came out of a task force that the city put together to look at and research a recommendation as to what they should do going forward. That task force came out of a fairly long campaign by Hastings residents and Hastings arts organizations to get a commission. HPAC was a main player in that. They did a very large study about the Hastings arts community and the impact that it has on our residents, our businesses, and our tourism. And it's a very well done report that you can find on HPAC's website.
Mhm.
But that turned into the task force, and the task force, after meeting for over a full year,
Yes.
we met every other Wednesday for 2 hours and worked really diligently at this. We identified that a commission was the best way to go forward and a best way to address and support and grow the arts and culture within our community.
Great.
Task force went through, they wrote all of the city code for it and the ordinance. They developed a work plan. They developed even a couple of contingencies to help the city prepare for some stuff. There was it was amazing what was all produced out of that. And then the task force also held it was called the Creative Convergence. And it started out by making sure that we brought in representatives from all the major arts organizations within town.
Cool.
And that was just a meeting where everybody got to just sit down and we got to report what we're doing with the task force and how that recommendation was going. Because at that time it was in the middle of getting voted on and going through the city process with city council. And that was awesome because that bore fruit right off the bat. I saw people get to meet each other from different organizations that had never met each other. I got to see some collaborations come out of it already. And that was the goal, was to start getting people to talk better and collaborate.
Right.
That's one of the many prongs to this commission.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we had our first meeting. We were able to elect officials. We had to sign and say an oath. Because it's an official city commission and everything. Yep.
Commission.
And then the new people that weren't on the task force were able to ask a bunch of questions about all the documentation, all the documents that we had produced. And we went over the work plan, and
Great.
I mean, people got to share what their ideas were. And it was absolutely fantastic. We've got a lot of really excited people who are ready to work. And I think that's probably the coolest thing about this commission, is that it's so different than every other city commission. This is a working commission. This is a commission that is going to be out there doing the work and not just passing stuff on to the city and the city staff to do. So it's way different than anything else, which is what we wanted. There's a lot of stuff that we in our city that we can do and we want to do. And like the river walk down by the Mississippi is something that was a $5 million project that the city put in, was it 7 years ago now? 8?
Yes.
And it used to have a bunch of art with it. It doesn't anymore. So that's an easy thing for us to pick back up and to build back up and redevelop. Obviously, murals downtown is a fun and easy thing to do. There are plenty of examples within the state of Minnesota where communities have a great collection of amazing murals and take intense civic pride in them as well.
Right.
So that's something that we can do. There's a lot of stuff like that, and then there's just a lot of, I would call it back of house stuff, where it's inventorying what art the city owns, because I'm impressed by our city hall, and it is, I would say, probably one of the more art-filled buildings, city civic buildings that I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's just absolutely packed with paintings and photography and historical objects. And so there's a lot of stuff that we can do there to help support that.
Stephen, why do you feel that the Arts and Culture Commission needs to happen? Why now? Why Hastings? Do you think this is a um, something that just is long past due?
Yeah, and that was part of our recommendation, was that we felt that this wasn't just a recommendation, that this was a why hasn't this happened yet kind of a thing.
Right.
So there are, I mean, Hastings itself has I'd say quite a few very active and very successful arts organizations. We have the River Valley Band, which is, I'm constantly blown away by how aggressive they are with their performance schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a normal community band, which is once or twice a year. This one is just, they're pumping it out. And the quality of the work that they do is something that needs to be supported and recognized.
Yeah.
We have the Arts Center, which is doing amazing musical education work, and offering classes for anybody who wants to take them, from the catalog of what instruments they teach and voice and everything is very deep, and it is impressive. And they put on wonderful concerts, and they do other wonderful programming as well. So that's another thing that we can help support and that we can help lift up. We have HPAC and all the work that they're doing, and they've been a driving force in a lot of art projects around town. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go next. You have Black Dirt Theater, which we just had Newsies coming out of the pandemic, and that was a fantastic show.
Yeah.
That was, from my experience, with the background in theater, one of the better community theater projects that I've seen in a long time, and it was
Definitely
impressive. Yeah. So we have all these different organizations, and we want to be able to help promote them and help make that just more central in the view of our community.
Right.
Arts are an integral part of life. They help make life more beautiful. They help give people opportunities to express themselves, opportunities for release, and areas where they can step away from things that might be bothering them. There are plenty of studies, and I don't want to go too far into it, but studies of how art impacts health and how positive that can be. And art and culture is just one of the things that can make a city more enjoyable and more livable. I view it as our city deserves this. I want to make people jealous of us. I want people to think that they're lucky to live there.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that we are. I mean, it's a wonderful area. It's a wonderful town. I think we're perfectly situated. We're within striking distance of the Twin Cities and all that they have to offer, but you're able to drive to Hastings and have this wonderful small town that's on the river with its history. It's idyllic. So I just want to do what I can do to help heighten that and bring that to light, and find those little bits and help them blossom and grow.
The city is supportive, the community is supportive of this, and I know that you are going to do great work on this. And I do think it's valuable as realtors, knowing that the arts are flourishing in our community. When I'm out there listing homes, when I'm out there with buyers, I know this is one of the things that I discuss in my listings. Like the little notes where I'm talking about the historic nature of Hastings. I'm talking about the arts and the culture and the brewery downtown and the different shops and trails and things like that. The river. It's all of this picture put together, and the arts is a huge part of that for Hastings. And I think just basically as a real estate agent, it does make Hastings an attractive place to come.
Yeah. No, I don't look at it as I'm just selling a home. I'm selling an entire community. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
the homes in the community, and it's just, yeah, I'm constantly pointing out, like, oh, if you go this way, you've got this walking trail. It
Yeah.
loops into all this. There's this park over there. Here's this historic building and this story behind it too. And it's just, yeah, I love it. I mean, we moved here because of that history.
Well, Stephen, thanks again for your time today, and congratulations on your appointment as vice chair of the Commission for Arts and Culture. And we look forward to talking with you probably next week.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.